In the sweltering summer of 1985, a shadow fell over Southern California. Families double-checked their locks, children were kept inside after dark, and an entire region held its breath. The cause of this terror had a name, whispered in fear: the Night Stalker. This wasn't a phantom. He was a man who slipped through unlocked windows and doors, a specter of violence who left a trail of death and satanic symbols in his wake. His reign of terror was short, but its impact has lasted for decades. Today we delve into the dark story of Richard Ramirez, a man who became one of America's most infamous serial killers, and explore how a monster managed to hide in plain sight. Richard Ramirez was born on a leap day, February 29, 1960, in El Paso, Texas. He was the youngest of 5. Growing up in a home marked by a difficult and reportedly abusive relationship with his father. But the darkness that would later define him was nurtured by another figure, his older cousin, Miguel, a Vietnam veteran. Miguel would show a young Ramirez photos from the war, boasting of the brutal acts he'd committed. He taught Ramirez combat skills and exposed him to a world of violence that seemed to fascinate the boy. By his teens, Ramirez was already spiraling. He experimented heavily with drugs and developed a deep fixation on the occult and Satanism, themes that would become a horrifying signature in his future crimes. In 1984, the nightmare began. Ramirez started a spree of home invasions that escalated in brutality. He was a predator of opportunity, striking at night, his victims chosen at random. Men, women, children, the elderly, no one was safe. His methods were just as chaotic. He used guns, knives, tire irons, whatever was at hand. The only constant was his sheer, remorseless brutality. He would often leave behind pentagrams or other occult symbols, taunting his victims and forcing them to swear allegiance to Satan. This element amplified the public's fear, transforming a series of horrific crimes into a citywide panic. Early victims like 79-year-old Jenny Vinco, brutally murdered in her home, set the stage. Then came the attack on Bill Carnes and his fiancée Inez Erickson. Ramirez shot Bill in the head, then bound and assaulted Inez, demanding she swear to Satan before he left. Miraculously, both survived, and Inez's description would become crucial for investigators. The police were facing a phantom. The crimes were spread out, the victims had no apparent connection, and the killer's methods were inconsistent. But detectives Gil Carrillo and Frank Salerno began to piece together the terrifying puzzle. They found links between crime scenes, specific shoe prints from a rare brand of athletic shoes, and ballistic matches from the weapons used. A huge breakthrough came from a stolen car Ramirez had used. A single, clear fingerprint was lifted from the rearview mirror. This print was run through the newly automated fingerprint identification system, and it came back with a match: Ricardo Leiber Ramirez, a 25-year-old drifter with a minor criminal record. The Phantom finally had a face and a name. On August 30th, 1985, Ramirez's name and mugshot were released to the public. Unaware of the massive manhunt now focused on him, he was returning to Los Angeles from Arizona. He stepped off a bus and walked into a liquor store where he saw his own face staring back at him from the front page of every newspaper. The headline screamed, "Night Stalker identified." Panic set in. Ramirez fled, trying to carjack multiple vehicles in a desperate attempt to escape. But this time, he wasn't in the shadows. He was in broad daylight in a predominantly Hispanic neighborhood in East L.A. Residents recognized him instantly. Instead of giving in to fear, they fought back. A crowd chased him down, cornering him and overpowering him. When the police arrived, they found the feared Night Stalker beaten and held down by the very community he had terrorized. The reign of the Night Stalker was over. The trial of Richard Ramirez began in 1989 and was a media circus. Outside the courtroom, Ramirez played to the cameras, flashing a pentagram drawn on his palm and yelling, "Hail Satan!" Inside, the prosecution presented an overwhelming mountain of evidence connecting him to a horrifying list of crimes. Survivors bravely took the stand to testify against him. After a lengthy trial, the verdict was clear. Ramirez was found guilty on 13 counts of murder, 5 attempted murders, 11 sexual assaults, and 14 burglaries. He received 19 death sentences. In prison, he remained a figure of dark fascination, never showing remorse and continuing to embrace his satanic persona. He even found followers, including Doreen Loy, a freelance magazine editor who began writing to him. In 1996, they married inside San Quentin State Prison. Ramirez, however, would never face his execution. On June 7, 2013, at age 53, he died from complications of B-cell lymphoma. The man who brought so much death to others died a quiet death in a hospital bed. So what created a monster like Richard Ramirez? Psychologists and criminologists point to a perfect storm of factors. His troubled childhood, exposure to extreme violence through his cousin, and early substance abuse likely all played a role. He exhibited classic traits of antisocial personality disorder, a complete lack of empathy, a manipulative nature, and a chilling grandiosity. But what truly set him apart was the randomness of his violence. Unlike many serial killers who have a specific type, Ramirez's chaotic spree made everyone feel vulnerable. He didn't just murder people, he invaded the one place they were supposed to be safe, their homes. This is what created the moral panic that gripped California. The media frenzy surrounding the Night Stalker turned him into a modern-day boogeyman, a symbol of pure, motiveless evil. The legacy of the Night Stalker endures, not just in the annals of true crime, but in our collective consciousness. His story has been told in countless books, documentaries like Netflix's Night Stalker, The Hunt for a Serial Killer, and has even influenced pop culture, serving as a dark backdrop in films and shows. Richard Ramirez remains a chilling reminder that monsters can be real. His case highlights the profound impact of a violent upbringing and the terrifying reality that sometimes evil doesn't have a clear motive. It's a story about the darkness that can lurk just beyond a closed door, and the incredible bravery of the community that refused to live in fear and finally brought the monster into the light. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into one of history's most disturbing cases. If you found this exploration compelling, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more content. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.